All right, hi. Today, our group will be focusing on marijuana and drug laws. The main problem behind marijuana use is that the federal government believes that it is unlawful to legalize marijuana, regardless if states have legalized it. This creates a lot of confusion across the country. Under federal law, a person could still face consequences even if they were legally purchasing and using marijuana in their state. Some believe that marijuana should remain banned everywhere and that federal government should regulate drug laws. Some people think that states ought to make their own decisions. Many issues have arisen as a result of this dispute, and individuals are now unsure of which laws to abide by. The federal government are the people The federal government are the people who control the United States and are in control of the laws. In 1970, there was a law that was passed called the Controlled Substances Act, and it gives us examples on how marijuana can affect us and harm us. Even though marijuana can be harmful, it has been proven that it can also help with pain and anxiety with epilepsy. As of this moment in time, both the federal government and the state government are involved in making marijuana laws. There are some states in the United States that have completely legalized marijuana. For example, those who can legally sell marijuana in their state cannot use banks since banks are subject to federal law. Additionally, there may be repercussions if someone carries marijuana that was legally purchased in one state to another where it is legal. Since it's like getting two different sets of regulations, everything gets really complicated. Go up a little bit. The Supreme Court has made decisions about the issue of marijuana use before. An important example is Gonzalez v. Ranch in 2005. This was an example where a woman named Angel Rach, who was using marijuana legally in California for her medical reasons, and then the federal government said that she was still breaking the law because the federal law is way more powerful than the state's law. The Supreme Court ended up agreeing with the federal government and said that they could still ban marijuana, including the states that had already made it legal. This caused a lot of problems because of federalism. Federalism is a system where power is shared between the national government and the state governments. It is true that states should be able to make their own decisions on certain issues, but when state and federal laws differ on views, it becomes a problem. An example of this could include how people in legal states can still get arrested by federal agents. Additionally, businesses that sell marijuana legally in their state can also get shut down. Because of situations like these, police officers don't always know whether they should follow the state or federal laws, making it very unfair and confusing to everyone. All right, you go. Someone reads that.
As of now,
No, right here.
we believe the government has taken a very messy approach to handling this issue. The federal government has too much control because it still has the power to ban marijuana, even though I can't read that far. Even though most states have decided to legalize it, we also believe that states should be able to make their own decisions without the federal government being in the way. If a state wants to legalize marijuana, then they should be allowed to do it with no problems. Federalism is not working very well for this issue nowadays. It has created a system where things aren't fair and people and businesses don't know what they are allowed to do. We feel like the best solution would be for the federal government to step back and let the states decide for themselves. As of now, the President Donald Trump has not made a law or an executive order to make a change on the legislation of marijuana. There was a speculation that Donald Trump might have change or do something about it, but it was only speculations on it, not for sure. You have to factor in that an executive order cannot overturn the control of a substance act which shows marijuana as illegal at the federal level. President Donald Trump cannot overturn the federal law and legalize marijuana, but what Donald Trump can do is direct federal agents to consider rescheduling or descheduling marijuana. No president can change the marijuana policy, and if they attempt to change the marijuana policy through an executive order, it is likely to face legal challenges trying to do so. Others can argue that actions like the marijuana policy exceed executive authority to do so, and it can violate existing laws. The Controlled Substance Act and court rulings uphold the federal prohibition of the drug marijuana. The principle of federalism allows states to make their own law on marijuana. So if they wanted to be legalized, then they can make a law on it to legalize it in the state. Like Illinois, the drug marijuana is legalized because they made a law in our state that they can't buy it now from a dispensary. Go ahead.
Which part?
No, show them apart.
Options right here. Opinions right here.
Opinions on changing the federal marijuana legalization policy vary. Supporters that want marijuana legal think that it could be replaced. It could replace criminal justice costs, generate tax revenue, and respect others' freedom. And the ones that don't want marijuana legal think that younger kids that aren't of age would use it on their freedom. It also expresses concerns on their public health, safety, and substance abuse. If the president like Donald Trump, directives face opposition, legal changes, and the system of checks and balances, it can slow or stop their implementation. The Congress can pass legalization and can legalize marijuana or not legalize marijuana and counter executive actions on the judiciary can rule on their legality. In conclusion, while the President Donald Trump has some influence over federal marijuana policy, if he wants to legalize it or not in the United States, significant changes would likely require legislative action and are subject to legal and political change.